warm in here? Or is it just me?
It was cold earlier.
I bet, as they have the door open, they're upstairs working.
Yeah.
Where you get a new mayor, you get a new office?
No, the building needs to be redone. And that's been in the works for a while.
Yeah,
And when they were working this morning, it was set to 60 in here, and with the windows and insulation pulled off, it was a lot colder.
But I
Did you have? What need to send a book again? The contact information for Fredericks.
Okay.
No call.
Brooke Miller, right? Okay.
Brooke Miller.
She's a court officer now over there? or-
She's one of them, yeah.
Okay.
She's the one that was in the court today for. We're running the video.
Okay, for the victim notification?
Yeah, well, that and he, on the no call list, no contact list for. If you try to
Hey, Officer Webb, you follow me around. Did you need a copy or did you have everything?
Everything you emailed, I printed and put in the file.
Okay, so I made an extra copy in case. Except there were some things that might not have come through that I wanted to personally hand you because some of the, should I wait till he comes?
Just wait.
Okay. When did you assume judgeship? Because I lived here 8 years ago,
7 in 2018.
2018. Okay. Yeah, because I don't think you were a city judge back then.
No, the courts were still consolidated at
Yeah.
that time. And then when they split, I was appointed judge, and that's been since 2018.
Okay. I bet you get to see a lot of things.
Lots of interesting things.
You know, as a court companion back in Pennsylvania and in Colorado, I can't believe what I've seen. You think, really? And my dog is on the floor here.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
Red Lodge City Court is now in session. I'm Judge He does it. Mr. Gunter, if you'll come have a seat up here. You do have a stack of paperwork that Ms. Cole has filed for you, or a copy for you. Everything she has sent to the court since Monday.
And there was an additional hold. I'm sorry.
So we are. Will you shut that that door real quick. We don't, or it gets kind of loud when people come and go.
Mhm.
All right, we are on the record in CV 230-2024-014 Eric Gunter petitioner versus Wendy Cole respondent, and CV 230-2025-001 OP formerly CV 220-2025-002 OP Wendy Cole petitioner versus Eric Gunter respondent. Now it's time and date for hearing on orders of protection. Mr. Gunter, the address and phone number that you previously provided to the court, is that still accurate? The one that was on the or on the confidential law enforcement sheet? The phone number?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
1120.
I don't want you to say your number,
Oh.
you know, and I'm not gonna ask you the
All
same,
right.
I'm gonna ask you the same question, but so that's still accurate, correct?
Yeah.
And then Ms. Cole, I do have a PO box in Bridger. Is that still a valid address? No, it's just the address on Eda Cabinet, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and then I do believe I have your phone number, and that's still correct address,
Yes,
still current from what was provided in your petition.
yes.
Okay,
Excuse me, do you need us to stand up while we
no,
respond?
not right now. It's a formal proceeding, but I handle things very informally,
Oh, good.
just
Okay, good.
because I don't think everybody needs to do cardio constantly. So just
Thank
please sit until I say otherwise. All right. The purpose of the hearings today is to determine whether or not these orders should be dissolved, modified, or continued as permanent orders of protection. Before we begin, Ms. Cole, I'm going to give you three options. You could admit the allegations contained in the petition, the order is granted, and we work out the details. Two, you can deny the allegations. We continue with the hearing. Just so you're aware, any admissions or testimony can be used in court against you in any pending criminal matter. The third option would be for you to stipulate to the order of protection, not admitting any of the allegations contained in the petition. The order is granted, and we work out the details of that order. How do you want to proceed?
Deny.
You want to
I
deny?
do have a question, however.
Yes.
With regard to a protection order, I'm from, I've done work in Pennsylvania and Colorado. Is it reciprocal?
No,
No, that's something I didn't understand.
they are one way. That's why
Okay.
you have yours, which we're going to hear today because it's interrelated to Mr. Gunter's, and we have Mr. Gunter's against you. They are only one way.
Okay, so if a petitioner is granted the protection order,
Yes.
they may still have contact?
The petitioner can contact the respondent all day, every day.
Okay,
The respondent, it's on them to avoid that contact, not answer phone calls, not,
Yeah.
To move away. Or
Or
to
file.
get out of that situation. And because we have two separate orders here from two separate courts, because they are interrelated, and after speaking with Justice Peace Maltz, it was determined that for judicial economy, that these matters would be held together
agreed.
because they are so intertwined. And rather than having two separate hearings over the same thing, I'm taking both. So you want to deny the allegations in the petition.
Yep.
And just so you're aware that any testimony or evidence and admissions or anything that comes out of this hearing may be used in a criminal matter against you.
I do.
Okay. All right. And then Mr. Gunter, I'm going to give you the same three options.
All right.
You could admit the allegation contained in the petition, the order is granted. You can deny the allegations. We continue with the hearing. And just so you're aware again that the admissions or testimony used in court may be used in a criminal matter against you, or you could stipulate and we work out details. How would you like to proceed?
Like come back to court or something, or what's going on?
No, so you could say, yeah, I did all those things. We grant an order. You can say, no, that's not the case. We hold a hearing. Anything that comes forward, if there's any pending criminal matters, that evidence can be used from this matter in that matter, or you could stipulate and say,
And whatever she wants, I guess.
well, it's up to you. It's your call. And that's,
What?
if you want to continue this with the hearing, or do you want to stipulate to her order,
What was her order?
or where you're not to have contact with her and
Oh,
things
yeah,
like that.
go on with it then.
Yeah. What was that, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
How do you want to proceed?
With whatever it says over here.
Okay.
Come back, whatever, or.
No, we're
keep
gonna
the
handle this
order?
today. We're gonna handle this today,
Okay,
one
keep
way
the
or another.
order?
Either her order stays in place against you, or we have continue with the hearing, which Ms. Cole wants to do. And based on all of that information, I make a determination again of if the order should be dissolved, modified, or made permanent. And those details, or, I don't know what the outcome is going to be, because I haven't heard anything. I only know what's
Yeah.
in both of your petitions.
It's whatever, man, just living,
All
we
right.
can get living by each other okay, I guess,
Okay, well,
I don't,
so
I ain't got no problem with none of it, man.
I understand
All right.
I understand what you're saying. Because Ms. Cole wants to deny those allegations, and in your petition against her,
Oh, so she's.
we're gonna hold a hearing. We're gonna
Okay,
have that
let's do
hearing.
it,
So,
yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
okay, we'll continue with your denial of hers. So are the parties ready to proceed today?
Yes,
Mr. Gunter?
Yes,
Okay. I will only allow testimony that pertains to the issue, and I expect each of you to present your testimony in an orderly and courteous manner. I will not allow any misbehavior from either party. Is there any questions before we proceed?
no,
All right, please raise your right hands. Do you swear the testimony at the cause at hand is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do, yes.
All right, thank you. Let's start with Ms. Cole. We'll hear evidence from you.
Okay, for 014 or?
We'll
In
start
general?
whatever in general, because things are so intertwined, it sounds like. We're gonna just start at the beginning. Don't worry about if it's this case or that case. Present your case of why you should have an order of protection against Mr. Gunter and why you shouldn't have one against you.
Okay. It's an unfortunate situation, and I'm sorry that we're here before you, and I really apologize for having to bring this situation into court. However, I feel the need to be protected after a year and a half of being stalked, threatened. This is one of the things I wanted to show you in coming into it. It started out as a neighborly basis. These are also in most of the things that I submitted, but some of them didn't print out right when I printed mine out. When I first moved into, I can actually read it if I may.
No,
Okay,
I prefer you not to. I can look, I've reviewed everything that you've sent.
Okay.
And Mr. Gunter, if you want to review what I've sent, or I provided,
Thank you.
please go through that.
Take it home, read it all.
No, read it now, because that's what we're talking about right now. Ms. Cole, you do need to lay the foundation for this to be admitted as evidence. So please.
Some of the timeline pictures that I sent didn't come through on my copies, so I wanted to make sure there. And those are also some of the incidental text messages that were sent with threats of sexual innuendo, no, actually misconduct. They were provided. I have probably 20 incident reports. The first incident happened in August 12th of 2023, case number 23-1064 for harassment of sexual harassment and texts within I think it's digital. I don't know the actual statute number, but it started shortly after I moved there that I was being basically assessed and sent texts like, I salivate over you, horrible pictures, pornographic, sexual pictures and suggestive text. And I reported it to Officer Cope. Nothing was done at the time. Coming from the background that I come through, I don't encourage or enjoy coming to court. I've lived through an awful lot of horrendous situations, and I don't like doing this to myself or other people. However, it has not stopped over a year and a half, things that have happened. And now it's threatening my well-being, my health, and also my housing. And that's one of the things that really disturbs me most, is that I lived in Red Lodge for a long time, and this is where I feel safest. And unfortunately, I no longer feel that way. With regard to Mr. Gunter's behavior, as you can see, it's been threatening for a long time. You don't want me to read my timeline? It's 2 pages, I think.
Present what you want. I didn't want you to read all the
Oh, no,
screenshots.
no, I would never do that. That's painful. That's really painful. If I can read, because, my brain doesn't work as well in court as old as I am now. So I'll just go ahead and read the timeline that I subjected. And Eric, if you'd like to follow along, there is one in there for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Stalking and cyber stalking incident timeline that began July 16th, 2023. I moved into Red Lodge Apartments across the hall from Mr. Gunter and C6. Last trailer arrived from Cody at 7:30. Eric was door open and he was getting high in the apartment, which is a violation of a lease. Concerned about him being unstable. Gunter helped unload trailer, but was drunk and high. Gunter told me to keep some things in his second bedroom. Until I got organized. I did. I was hesitant after seeing him smoking pot in the building and getting drunk. I just kept a few boxes and an air conditioner. I did pay him $25 to help me move in, as I told him I would prior. After too many strange interactions with Gunter on August 2nd, I brought my things back from his apartment. I witnessed Gunter's anger where they picked up some things at the grocery store and he just kind of threw them at my door. I just don't understand that type of conduct. Contempt. I witnessed Gunter's anger direct at me. I believe I told him to clean up the excrement from his undocumented dog. He's not supposed to have a dog. I told him you're not supposed to have a dog. I did property management for a long time, and I really value a place to live and the stipulation of respecting your lease and your neighbors. Gunter told me the dog was Tracy Marks. August 7th, I had an old boyfriend come visit me from Wyoming. After my friend left, Gunter came out of his apartment asking me all kinds of strange questions like, is he your lover? How long have you been dating him? And are you going to go camping with him up in the past? Far too personal of a line of questioning to come from someone I don't know. I was stunned that Gunter had apparently listened to our whole conversation. I was polite, but told Gunter it was none of his business and came back into my apartment. I realized then that Gunter was not a stable neighbor and stayed away from him and Tracy Mark from then on. August 12th, I received sexually explicit texts with pictures of his personal, unit. Unfortunately, someone hacked my computer, deleted the pictures after I called and reported the cyber stalking and sexting. I did have out of 115 texts left. There were approximately 115 texts in a few days. I reported to the apartment management and to the police. CFS 2023-1064. It was never investigated. From Google Photos documenting the date, I screenshotted these prior to deleting some of them from my phone, but I was waiting on Officer Cope to actually come talk to me about the cyber stalking, but he never did. August 24th, I went to the management and said, I have breathing issues, lung issues, and they're all smoking pot in the building when you told me it was not supposed to be smoked with. The property is smoke free. Eric apparently got wind that I went to management and sent me that one there. I'm not going to read it. August 29th, I realized my apartment had been broken into and I posted this on the apartment door. I did not call Police, since they did nothing about the cyber stalking and sexting, and I have a severe fear of police. Not me. I did not trust the police for many years after getting brutally arrested, unlawfully incarcerated, maliciously prosecuted. I have a copy of the prosecutions if you would like to see that, Judge. All charges were dismissed, but not after an unlawful incarceration for a frivolous contempt of court charge, which was dismissed as well. The city attorney got fired for her malicious prosecution. I put up on the door, if you need toilet paper, you could have asked me. If you want wine, I could give it to you. The peacock feathers I've saved for most of my life. Why? But what really hurts is that the jewelry, my turquoise silver that my mother gave me, this was all stolen from my apartment. There was probably about $500-600 worth of stuff, food stuff and personal belongings stolen. And I wrote, why do you steal? Just to hurt a person who's hurting already. I lost my daughter 16 years ago, and it doesn't go over well with me when someone steals from me, because I had my house broken into when I was giving birth. Gunter texted me to get lost. He also said, if you're talking about the picture, I clearly said it was an accident. It wasn't an accident because the very pornographic texts that followed the pictures were disgusting. And at my age, at 65, anyway, after I approached Gunter about the sexually explicit pictures, he kept trying to win back my friendship. I wanted nothing more to do with him or his friend Tracy Marks. And it says, I read your last two texts. I'm here, done over here, helping you. If you're talking about the picture, I clearly said it was an accident. I was sorry. You are the problem. No, anyway, moving on. There's a bunch of other texts. I did not text anything back to thwart his efforts and tried to prevent him from texting me anymore. Yet I tried to be civil to Gunter because I did not want to anger him or call the police or jeopardize my own housing. I felt bad for him. And I can see, I am tired, I'm really terrified of being homeless again, and I was terrified of Gunter at this time too. I pitied Gunter originally because he does have a kind heart, but because of his diagnosis, I believe, and I'm not a certified professional, however, I studied an awful lot about psychology and domestic violence because I was an advocate. It says, you know, I won't hurt you. And it was, you can see the paranoid schizophrenia come back and forth, where he doesn't mean to do what he does, but he does. And then I got a text that was obviously not composed by Eric Gunter and probably was written by Tracy Mark that said I possibly said things when I got drunk. And if you read that text, you can tell it is not as in his vernacular or able. It's just, that's not how he speaks. That's not how he writes. And that obviously was not written by him. I'm a teacher. I can tell I write a lot, obviously. And then Eric went to the apartment manager and said, I felt I needed to talk to the manager about you since that's what it seems you do about me. No, she can't. No, I reported smoking. This is when I started to realize that Gunter was telling me the truth when he told me he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia as his temperament changed drastically. This created even more trepidation and fear. Also, in my investigative research to find out, because that's what I do, is investigate and do a lot of research. It says, the Gillette Police Report 21-0676 as per FOIA request. In there, should I go through this real quick? Because it does state that he.
What's the relevance of
the relevance is that he does have a disability of paranoid schizophrenia. Which
okay,
can be.
What's the relevance for your cases?
I'm afraid of, that's a very dangerous diagnosis, especially in using alcohol and drugs. And we know that because he has several, more than 3 arrests for possession and using of methamphetamine.
And that's just, where's your documentation for that?
Here, I sent that with the police reports. So he does have charges and he admits to it in the police report. If you would like, I can read it. This is not me stating this. This is the police from the Gillette Police Report obtained by FOIA.
So no, you're missing my point.
Okay.
What is the relevance today that this Gillette incident that you're referring to? The relevance to this order of protection, not that he has a history of drug use, he has a history of mental illness. What is the point?
My point is that this is the nature of the beast.
Continue.
Okay, August 30th. While I was getting my e-bike ready to ride to the senior center, Gunther came out with tears or glassy eyes, and he told me, I know you're going to the senior center for lunch. How did he know that? He then tried to hand me a $5 bill to pay for my lunch. At first, I refused to take it, but he kept demanding, and he wanted to pay for my lunch. Again, I'm trying to do everything I can to not ruffle anybody's feathers. Again, my computer was hacked and almost all my email, police incident reports, the majority of the photos were deleted from the month of September to November. But within some of them, here's a little, it says, move away and stop pouring your negative energy into your neighbors. We were all good until you moved here. Now I got to defend someone like you. I would get this whole thing happened all within 2 to 3 days. A tirade at 1:22 a.m. You're disturbing everyone here. Nobody wants you here. Maybe you should consider, and it's hard to read because it's not spelled, moving into best advice. You ruined a good place to live in 30 days. It's not us. We were all fine before you moved. Next, I'm calling for a welfare check. If you get like you did the other day, that's the best I can do at this point. Why was he threatening to call for a welfare check? I don't know. Why is he watching me? How did I get the other day? I get diverticulitis, which is not pretty, which is very painful. And I just would sit outside and try and heal. I never asked him to do anything for me after the sexually explicit pictures back in August. Before I start my day, you need to put a day. He would constantly yell out the window or text me. My dog is, your dog is put on the, wait, before I start my day, you need to put your dog on a leash. My dog is really not well, and he's very not well now. But please stop. And I did tell him, please stop. Do not contact, call, or text. This is done, or I am reporting. Stop. I tried to civilly, respectfully let him know to keep his distance. Do you understand? Do not text, contact, or call. We did have a discussion where, I mean, I have a background in crisis intervention and working with kids, inner city kids. And it's called restorative practices, where you do try and communicate initially without anger, without anything other than to listen. Do you understand? Good. Report yourself while you're at it. Block me and Tracy and move. No one wants you here. Stop. And I told him, please stop. I'm calling the police. You got to stop. Okay, I'll be here. I mean, it doesn't, and I think, as you know, with his diagnoses, as you can see, he's a little deficient in understanding a lot of times conversations. I tried to be assertive but kind, and that didn't stop him from harassing me in person or in texting. I actually did talk to him about the smoking and said, you are jeopardizing not only your health, but the health of the people, and you're jeopardizing your housing, because this is a gift to have a place to live here in Red Lodge. Because in Wyoming, if you have a drug record, you cannot get into any type of subsidized
This
housing.
isn't Wyoming. This is Montana.
Okay, but that's.
And that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
Move on.
As a board member of CART, I was informed on November 20th that Gunther is now banned from ridership due to show a 50-year-old rider on the van, and the driver of the van pictures of his penis. There is an incident report with the Red Lodge Police Department. Gunther has repeatedly verbalized that it was my fault he lost his privilege to ride CART. It was not. I had nothing to do with it. It was a decision made by the management. These are only some of the dates and incidents that I can actually document. There are more. June 16th, Gunther followed me back to my apartment when he saw me walking my dog, demanding I speak to him about what I still do not know. Gunther stood outside my window and yelled, "Get out here and talk to me. You are crazy." I notified apartment again. I didn't call the police because I'm afraid of the police. CART came to pick me up. June 4th, CART came to pick me up, but I wasn't feeling well. It was really hot. I did not leave the apartment that day. When I was resting, the dog woke me up growling. The door handle was moving. My dog barked. And by the time I got to the door, there was nobody there. I ran to the bedroom window to look out. I saw Gunther running to the front of the building. I literally saw him running. July 9th, apartment door unlocked and inside lock kicked in. Called the police. Canine officer responded. Couldn't prove to him that it was vandalized. July 16th, Gunther followed me again, demanding I talk to him. I refused. August 19th and 24th, again, Gunter yelling at me outside my window. Everyone thinks you are crazy. Call the police. Officer Purvis on the call. Neighbor, another Wendy, I don't know her last name, witnessed the incident. Purvis said, I will talk to him. September 3rd, senior center harassment. Gunter called 911. There was no argument as stated in the police report. I had no contact with Gunter because I was teaching mahjong in the dining room. He came into the doorway, stood there, and I was working with 5 players when Gunter came into the doorway of the dining room and just stood there watching me. I then went to the director and told her that I was being stalked and watched by Gunter for over a year. I'm afraid of him due to the sexually explicit text and what I believe to be apartment break-ins. However, I can't believe them. There's a report from primary narrative from Gregory Schrock. September 28th, Gunter came after me taking pictures. Gunter stalked 911, called 911 saying that I was taking pictures of him. I was not. I was taking pictures of deer. I had no contact with him. Gunter came really close to me. I was told by law enforcement to take his picture. I said nothing. That was September 28th. November 9th, Gunter and Peg, that's another story. She's part of the IAG group, called game warden, claiming I was feeding turkeys. It was not me. False alarm to do harm to my character. The game warden told me that it was 2 people from the apartment complex that reported to him, and one was within my building. And it was not the other gentleman that lives upstairs. Number 12, I was watched by Gunter out my window when I was cleaning off my car. When Gunter saw me get my camera out, he shut the blinds partially so he could not see me, but you could see the blinds were still moving. December 28th, CFS 2024-14197. I was followed by Tracy Mark driving Eric Gunter, seen at post office, Cattail Bakery, and at Junction 7. They were in the intersection a block away. Gunter was hanging out the window taking pictures. Finally at Junction 7, parked 2 feet away from my truck and took my picture. Then Gunter said, I got the picture, go. I walked down to the police department and was in bad shape. December 31st, I was served with a temporary protection order based on no evidence. And that's my timeline. What I also would like to respond to is the response to the protection order, if I may.
What response to the protection order? That's what this hearing is for, is the
Okay.
response to the protection
So
order.
this was the timeline.
Your timeline, I understand that.
Okay, so the response to the protection order, in response to the temporary order of protection, I offer the following. In paragraph number 5 of the protection order itself, the information about the violence, the petitioner stated that Tracy Mark and Rose Brantley were at the Red Lodge Apartments and they are not here to witness. When the respondent allegedly pretended to call on the phone and stated something to the effect that I, the respondent, was harassing the petitioner, Eric Gunter, at that moment. That's a fabrication of a heinous lie. There was no actual date stated on the document. This allegation, this type of
There
abuse,
doesn't need to be, move on.
this type of abuse of a petition for protection order is taxing on the courts. Actually, I did make a call. I was on the phone. Here's the proof. The respondent did not pretend to call on the phone. The service due to some type of oil being thrown all under the respondent's truck for the 2nd time in a week. It's
Move
quite-
on, please.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying is that the initial premise for the saying that I fake a call to the police, I didn't. I made the call and I have proof of the call. So the whole premise for the protection order, according to what was written, there's no evidence or reason for a protection order. And, you know, going on the whole thing, okay, as an advocate for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, as I was both, we learned and saw that there's a type of vandalization, which would be the type of gaslighting that is typically done by perpetrators of domestic violence to cause trepidation in their targets. It is done in a cowardly fashion to hide the abuse and still cause harm. Most perpetrators of domestic violence never break the habit of hurting a woman. The petitioner has professed to be incarcerated for months for domestic violence involving his significant other. And then it goes on to say domestic abuse. I met my 2nd girlfriend. She was a strip dancer.
Move on.
Okay.
I've read all of that. Move
Okay,
on.
good. Please note, I'm not responding to the petitioner's text after he sent me sexually explicit pictures and text. I avoided the petitioner at all costs and was seriously afraid of him, knowing he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. I've studied psychology in my teaching degrees, and for my own disability, it is a dangerous diagnosis. And I have seen damage done by it. I believe it is quite possible that the petitioner has exacted more than the sophomore attempt at scaring me by damaging my bird feeders and throwing oil under my car, even after he was warned about trespassing at the senior center. I have reason to believe that the windshield of my new truck was damaged by the petitioner. Because my new truck, no one even knew it belonged to me when I brought it home. I had only purchased a couple hours earlier, and the previous owner confirmed that the windshield was not damaged when I purchased it, and it did not go driven on a highway. I drove it from about 4 blocks. The petitioner was the only one who saw me park my new vehicle. Again, I did not pretend to call for help to the non-emergency number. I was scared after what has been happening for the past year and a half. The date of the incident was December 21st, 2024. The petitioner failed to present an accurate date of the offense. The date was December. I was truly upset, terrified, since I had just purchased a truck and there were no oil or fluid leaks as per the previous owner. I actually took it and put it up in a lift to see. I grew up in a gas station. I know a lot about cars in general. I was on the phone for about 18 minutes trying to explain to Officer Purvis what had happened, as the officer only discredited every word I said. At no time was a petitioner nor Tracy Mark in the vicinity of my truck when I was calling from. Rose Brantley was definitely walking back and forth, watching and listening to me have a discussion with Officer Purvis of the Red Lodge Department. What is quite obviously stated in the petitioner's prescription of past abuse. It says, claimed I broke her windshield of her truck. Police were called and I was notified it was nothing. They didn't believe her and nothing was done. This has been my experience with police when I endured a swatting attack by a coercer right with 3 other women in Cody who also filed perjurious protection orders. I believe the petitioner and or his friends or management are in contact with this woman, as this is the same tactic she took to harass me after I reported her to police for elder abuse. Clarissa Wright's been in contact with Dana Zier and the management of Red Lodge Apartments. And to defame my character and calling, again, it's a total heinous lie solely to defame my character. Neither the recent or past abuse substantiates any claim of any real or perceived evidential proof of any type of abuse. It is unbelievable that the petitioner who threatened me, a 66-year-old woman with a disability with cyber stalking and sexting, has the audacity to file a petition for protection against me. It was solely collaborated with Rose Brantley and Tracy Mark for harm and defamation. I have further documented the harassment, sexually explicit and threatening texts, which also have an intention to jeopardize my housing in a big way. At the Red Lodge Apartments, it is a timeline has been sent separately, received that. It is for this reason that I'm petitioning the court to deny any and all perjurious petitions for protection orders that would defame my character and standing in the community, as this seems to be the motive of the petitioner, and grant my petition for protection order. I respectfully submit.
Okay. Mr. Gunter,
Yes.
tell me your
Yeah.
side.
All right, to that over there, I mean, what you
Whatever you
said,
want to tell me.
I was just gonna ask if I could get a 500 feet or something, where she won't yell at me from over there, but she's still doing it, I guess, so I don't know what to do. I'm gonna ask to
So tell me why you kind of started with what you want 500 feet, but why do you want that 500 feet? You said she wanted,
keep
she's
yelling at
yelling
me
at
and
you
stuff.
all of,
I don't yell at her or nothing.
you know, and so
I'm sorry.
tell me your side of the story is what I'm asking you to do. I know that was overwhelming with
Oh, okay, well, I guess,
Ms. Cole that presented, but please tell me your side.
I just moved here and then, you know, and next to her, and then we're here. You know? I don't know what happened, why I'm in there. I'm just here because you dragged me in here or something. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't know what it, you know,
So
I don't know.
you
this
can
stuff.
address some of the things that Ms. Cole has presented and refute whatever she has said. You know, the oil under her vehicle, breaking her windshield, all of those things.
Denied, don't know nothing about, did none of it. Pretty much did none of it. Hell, I don't, you know what I mean? I can't keep up with it, whatever's going on. Can't look out my windows, I can't move here. you know, and I'm trying to help and stay away from her, but I can't look out my window because then she's gonna say something and do something different or whatever. Man, I just wanna like, you know,
Where did you live before you lived in Red Lodge? Before you moved into the apartments over there?
over there, some apartment complex in Gillette.
You were in Gillette
Yeah,
before you got here?
no, Douglas.
Douglas? Okay.
Yeah,
And then when did you move over into those apartments?
2 years ago or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I was over there in Douglas. I can't think the apartments.
No, okay, it was,
Oh.
you were in Douglas before you came here 2 years ago, is what you're saying. That's what my question was. Where were you before you moved here and when did you move in here? So you've been here for 2
Yeah,
years?
about 2
in that apartment?
years, and then Douglas.
Okay. And when you were dropped off, you were just dropped off by cart, weren't you?
Yeah, like over here.
Yeah, for this hearing.
Here, yeah.
So Ms. Cole's accusation that you're banned from cart is inaccurate.
I don't
No, may I
know.
address-
No,
I don't. Also I know, sir, Your Honor, is I haven't even used the cart van in a year. I haven't even asked them. But I did the other yesterday or something for a ride here, and that's it. I've never even called these people your cart van.
okay.
But I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No, it's fine,
Yeah.
you know, and I understand, some of the things Ms. Cole said, that you have some mental illness, correct? You have some diagnoses?
No, I'm doing all right, I think, you know, does it seem like I got a problem?
No, that's what I'm asking you. Do you have any diagnoses as she's stating?
Oh, probably in the past, yeah, or something from hospital or something.
Okay, are you medicated? Do you take?
Yeah, I
anything?
got medicine and all that, yeah, I'm taking my meds.
When was the last time you went to the doctor? Has it been a while? Are they just keeping you?
No,
with-
I went over here, the one across the street from the Family Dollar or
Mhm.
something spot over there and got my meds. But I couldn't at first, you know, for a while, you know.
They had to talk to you and some stuff, right?
Yeah, I got,
All right, is there anything else that the court needs to consider?
yeah, I guess everything's still cool, you know, I'm living right there and she's over there in the back, as long as she doesn't be yelling at me and stuff.
You said you moved apartments. to the
Yeah, I've
outside.
been going back and forth to Tracy's and mine. Tracy lives on the other side, you know, and I helped her move in there and then we just like switch off, you know, just something to do. And so half the time I'm not even at my house. I'm over at Tracy's.
Okay,
you know?
and so you're on the other side of the complex now, right?
Yeah,
And
no,
Trace,
shit, I've always been on this side. I was on the front side next to her and then I asked to move because all kinds of.
and now you're on the back side?
No,
or-
yeah, from her place. I'm on the front side now.
So
Yeah,
Your old apartment, you're on the other side of the building, right?
yeah.
And where's Tracy's,
She's way down on the other end.
the other end?
Yeah. And I just go back and forth and,
Okay.
you know, sometimes I get yelled at, whatever, you know. I still ain't got no problem with nothing, but I guess we gotta do something. I mean, Bass, heard about the screamer, you know, whatever's going on, you know.
Okay. Anything else from
I
either?
don't know why we didn't need to be here.
Yeah, I mean, I addressed the card situation since I am on the board.
Please.
After the incident report was provided and he was given basically a prohibition that he was not allowed to ride. And it was brought to everybody's attention that we didn't have the authority according to because it's a state-funded program, to ban anybody permanently.
So your statement saying you permanently banned him is false. That's what you said.
Well, initially,
No, that's what you said, and that is
that's what
not
I was
correct.
told.
So, okay,
That's what I was
move
told.
on, please.
And David Callenbach just told me when I requested the incident report, and he said he couldn't give it to me because of confidentiality and the looking into the actual legal You can basically give a probation period where you can't ride for a year, and then you can come back. So he just told me this on Monday. So,
So your
And-
statements have changed from your initial testimony to now. That's what you just told me, that you,
I learned this, I just learned this.
within the
Monday.
last 2 minutes?
No, well, I just texted and I said, David, did you just bring Gunter here? I just texted him. Because he told me, he goes, well, we can't really ride it until he actually provides. And I'm like, I'm just saying, this is what was told to me. But I just texted David and said, let's see what can I see what David responded?
No.
Okay.
So we're done. We're done. So we'll address your petition of an order of protection. So in cause number CV 230-2025-001, formerly CV 220-2025-002, I have a lot of concerns. The information that you've gathered about Mr. Gunter, it scares me. You FOIA'd information from his previous residence and got all his mental health information. That's stalking. Your own evidence you presented, you are stalking Mr. Gunter.
That's not.
No, I'm talking now. You're done. And I understand Mr. Gunter's concerned. Why he got his order, or he filed for a petition. And this is what your arguments about responding to this item and this item and this item, that's neither here nor there. That's what this hearing is for. Because the one-sided argument of what is presented in that sworn petition is what I make my basis for to grant an order of protection. That is what Judge Schmaltz went based on your sworn petition in justice court. And you were under oath when all of this happened. The testimony you're provided, it's contradictory to in and of itself, but from the beginning towards the end, you said he's banned from this, he's this. During the hearing, you reached out and used your position you're abusing your position. Oh, you gave Mr. Gunter a ride here? What's going on? That's very concerning to me. And I understand Mr. Gunter's concerns of why he got a petition in the first place. In reviewing yours, I understand why you wanted an order of protection. But looking at what you presented to the court and your information, it is retaliatory because he got one against you. You're talking, no.
Okay, we're done.
No, you're going to sit there until I am done.
We're done. We're done.
No,
I'm done.
So, based on the conflicting testimony that you provided, I am going to dismiss cause number CV 230-2025-001 OP, and as well as the original cause number CV 220-2025-002 with prejudice.
Excuse me, did you say
With prejudice.
Okay.
The information that you provided is alarming to me. You're not responding, don't talk. And just what the information you gathered about Mr. Gunter and doing FOIA requests to this department out there, doing this to this. I have concerns for his safety now. Even though you presented everything, you're
Concerns for safety?
because you're stalking him.
No,
No, that is stalking. You got information about where he lived previously. You got all of this. I am concerned. So the matter of Wendy Cole versus Eric Gunter is dismissed, and addressing CV 230-2024-0014. Because of those concerns, I am going to grant his order protection because of the evidence you presented against yourself in these matters. So we're going to go through these conditions. So if you're done, you can leave, like you said, but
No, I'm taking notes so I can recall.
this is all on the record.
And can I get a copy of that?
You have to file a written request. There's a fee to receive a copy of the recording. It's all on the city courts or the city's website. So, Mr. Gunter, you are going to be a protected person.
Yes, Your Honor. What's going on now? I mean,
I have concerns about your mental capacity.
oh, I'm good,
No,
man.
I understand.
Okay.
I have some concerns with that just based on our interaction today.
Mhm.
There's something going on there. I want you to be protected and safe.
And not
Okay.
me?
Another outburst like that, you're going to be held in contempt.
I understand. May I leave?
If you want, the officer will find you and provide you a copy of the order.
We'll do that.
Man, I don't need to be in here.
No, we're going to work out the details of this
Oh, okay.
protection order, and Miss Cole wants to leave, so
Okay.
I'm not going to
Because
stop
I'm just
her.
about ready to have a seizure, so I need to get going and get outside, or else I'm gonna.
So, Miss Cole. All right, the final order of protection shall read as follows.
Wendy,
Not sorry, Your Honor.
That's fine.
you need EMS? Wendy? Do you need EMS? You're at the city court?
I am basing this on stalking.
You need EMS, Wendy?
The respondent shall not threaten or commit acts of violence against the petitioner and or the
Sheriff also.
the respondent shall not harass, annoy, disturb the peace, telephone, email, contact, or otherwise communicate directly or indirectly with the petitioner. The respondent shall stay at least 500 feet away from the
This is
petitioner.
me?
No, this is her.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
So you're being protected in this matter.
Okay, nice, cool.
Well, I
The
don't want you to get up,
respondent
'cause I
shall
want
stay
you
at
to
least
follow it.
500
Okay,
feet away
just
from
sit
the
on your
petitioner.
bottom there.
The petitioner's
All right.
residence located at
The dog.
What's that?
Edict 1120 Edict Avenue. Apartment, what number was it, sir? What apartment are you in?
Right now, my address,
Yes,
C3.
an apartment C3.
Yeah, and this live at C6.
The,
Sure, so can you?
And I moved.
no, yeah, I know you moved.
I voluntarily moved for her and we're still having all this problem. I didn't have to move in the first place. I did it to be nice. Cause there was a room open somewhere else, so I
I
just
just
took
wait
it.
there for a minute, okay?
Yeah,
EMS is gonna.
I
be on the
understand.
way.
all right, well,
Okay,
As per notice, do the parties want personal service by an officer, or do you want to be served by mail if there is a change?
I'll put a police officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Cole, how do you want to be served with any changes?
that's cool.
I take
I'm
that
trying to
as,
hang in there. I don't understand all this
Yeah.
stuff. I'm no lawman.
I understand. So as for that, I'm going to grant the permanent order of protection for 6 months. It shall be in effect until July 13th, 2025 at 12:59 PM. However, it may be extended
Just stay there.
further
Okay,
based on any filings of the court, and we'll have another hearing at that time. Those are the findings of the court.
You'll have to explain this a little bit before I go. I don't understand,
So-
like.
Miss Cole cannot contact you. I have concerns because of where she's provided in her own documentation, pictures of you walking towards your apartment, pictures of your window. If you're on a different side of the building from her place, why is she on that side? That tells me that there's something going on there.
I'm gonna come check you out.
So,
All right. Yeah, I'm telling you, I keep looking out my windows, like I gotta look out my window, make sure she's not there so I can come in and out.
and
So
that's
if she
not
catches
gonna,
me in the
that's,
window and
not-
there's someone standing there, then she pulls them in.
Just stop.
You know, then she pulls them in,
All right.
she's like.
Sergeant, if you'll have,
Is this for Eric?
well, yeah, Eric, if you'll sign right here on this line, please. And then you'll get a copy of it and you
Just
can,
continue on like we've been doing, just.
you do what you need to do. But I'm
What
gonna,
about the distance?
it's 500 feet.
500, and that's, I can come in and out and.
You can come in and out of your apartment.
Can you?
You don't have to watch your back, make
Wendy,
sure she's
Cole,
out
please
there.
Try to stay back a little further. Have you seen me coming out or
So,
something?
It's protecting you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's to protect you from any more harassment,
So
any
you're
more
the
following, any more
petition.
legal research, any of that.
Legal research. You just said it, Judge.
That's what you're investigating everybody, is what you said in your testimony.
I did, but I'm allowed to.
It is the
Today's the 15th.
15th.
What happened here? Did I knock this down?
And, can I speak? Your
Yeah.
Honor? And for the court's, notes as well, she was cited today for, the stalking violation. Okay, so I'll have Officer Purvis follow up with you.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Ms. Cole did make mention she was served with something today, but didn't say what it was.
Okay,
This is absurd.
2025.
Well, there you go, I guess.
Ms. Cole, if you'll please sign that and we can get you a copy of it.
I have to do it.
You can refuse to sign, but you're gonna. It's an acknowledgement that you're receiving
Service.
service of this. You can refuse to sign, Officer or Sergeant Webb can write that you refused. We will still get you a copy.
When the EMS is here as well, okay? Do you want to sign
I'm
this?
cool with just going, Your Honor, I'm cool with going back home. I need to.
One moment, we'll get you a copy of this order. Or
give you a ride.
yeah,
Cool, thanks.
I guess Ms. Cole doesn't want to sign if you'll acknowledge that she's refused.
I'm not refusing.
Are you gonna sign?
I can't see. I
Okay.
can't see to read. I got vertigo really, really bad.
Well,
I don't know what I'm.
if you'll sign
signing.
the service, it's everything I went through in my oral
Just that
pronouncement.
you're being served. The order of protection, okay?
This was creepy.
Ms. Cole, don't mix up all the paperwork, please.
What else am I signing? I don't
You're
sign.
just signing right here.
You'll get a copy of it.
Yep, you'll get all of this. That's for me to sign down there. You're signing this one here.
You want to let
Yeah,
them know that it's this door, not the other.
it's right here. Ms. Cole, are you gonna sign that or no?
Yeah, I'll sign it. I just would like to know what, I can't read anything now.
You'll get a copy of it. It's everything I stated.
Yep, yep.
Hey, I'm Brad, this is Ethan.
This is Wendy.
Yep. We've met, I think it's over at your house. Can you tell me what happened?
I do respect all this, Your Honor, but I'll read it later or something.
Yeah.
Put it all in here.
I got vertigo really bad and vision's really bad.
All right, one more moment, Eric, and I'll get you a copy.
Oh, I gotta do this one, right?
Yeah, you sign your name on that.
Do that.
I just got really bad vertigo.
Okay. The chest pain, is that happening before for you?
Yeah, it's because my blood pressure was 186 or 168.
Okay.
Those problems. I am coming back.
Would you like to sit in a chair or lie on the ground? What would be?
Just let me sit, let me sit for a bit.
Okay.
My name is Ethan, and I got that blood glucose we talked about.
What do you want, figure?
Yeah.
It is 15.
What's that?
It is
13.
3 or 15:53.
Yeah, you go a little funky after your season, your body doesn't like it.
Do I have to come back on this other page,
No,
on this other one? that
we've
she-
handled both matters.
I'll do that.
It's all been handled.
And you have a previous diagnosis of psychogenic seizure?
Thanks, man. I just, go back home, go on my life. I don't gotta come back and forth, right?
No,
Okay, and then she has to stay 500 feet, we can still be there and all that?
The one against you is dismissed.
Okay,
but I'm gonna tell you, just avoid her as well.
I'll try, sure.
Don't text her, don't Facebook
Met
her.
her over here some long time ago, I moved a long time ago. I had to come back once because the manager was like, saying all this stuff.
And so, all right,
Well, thanks for not bringing me back.
Yes.
So do I need all this stuff?
no, you don't. You can just dispose of that, but you can keep this with someplace safe, okay? It's a copy of the order. Red Lodge City Court is adjourned. Thank you.
You want me to give a copy to Wendy?